Hey everyone, my name is Josh and I'm the director of JC Surge. And in this video, I'm going to basically be sharing with you a quick kind of 8-step strategy to get new clients for SEO or Facebook ads. So the reason why I put Facebook SEOs first is just because that's my primary service, and then Facebook ads is going to be kind of like my secondary service, and I'm going to show you exactly how we can sell these two together. Now, this is going to be more so if you are on the SEO side. So the reason why I included Facebook ads is because my company, we offer that as well, but this is going to be primarily for SEO. So let me first actually just get rid of this real quick, or I'll leave it there because it is relevant, and you'll see how in just a minute. But basically, what we're going to do is we're going to find some keywords, we're going to scout for the top competitor, and we're going to export leads into the Excel, upload it into Google Sheets, filter the leads. I'm going to show you exactly what I look for when it comes to filtering, finding the first name of the owner, putting it into something like MixMax, to like an email blaster, and then sending out audits. So basically, this is a strategy that landed me a client. And now I'm going to share with you a little bit more of like a more robust strategy that's going to actually convert. You're not going to worry, you have to worry too much about having a high bounce rate when it comes to like MixMax. So for example, right now, I'm targeting HVACs in MixMax. So, and I've gotten banned from Google several times like for doing this, but this is a strategy that's like, it's better, it's more robust, and it's just, you're not going to have like a 50% bounce rate where Google's just going to ban you the next day. So basically, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some keywords. So in this case, let's look for like, HVACs, Tucson, Arizona. So I'm just going to show you exactly how I went about this process, just so I can save some time and not have to like worry about everything. So we're going to look for HVAC in Tucson, Arizona, right? And so now we see, okay, we got volume is 150, so 150 people per month are looking this key phrase. It's got a keyword difficulty of about 16, so it's kind of a difficult keyword. So maybe I wouldn't. Honestly, I would be a little bit skeptical in terms of like doing this exact key phrase, but we may do something like HVAC contractors, Tucson, right? And this is a little bit easier to maybe rank for. I saw it. One of these key phrases is what I was gonna look to prospect for. So HVAC Tucson easy. Where is it? HVAC contractor Tucson AZ. This is searched about 50 times, and it's a pretty low volume keyword difficulty. So I would look for this. Maybe this would be the ideal one, but when you're prospecting, look for a more competitive one, and then you can kind of pitch. Once you have like an audit ready, you can kind of pitch them the lower volume keyword. But anyway, I would look for HVAC Tucson AZ, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to something like D7 Lead Finder, and I'm going to just punch that in. So like HVAC, literally HVAC Tucson, Arizona. Why Tucson? Well, I'm kind of scouting out Arizona for different types of industries and stuff like that to do SEO. But you can see I've done, flight schools, paint contractors in Burlington, Vermont, and stuff like that. And then you're going to get something that's like, I'm going to show you real quick. So like paint contractors, right? You're just going to want to click Excel. You're going to get an Excel sheet, and then you're going to upload this onto a Google Sheets. And you're going to want to take this. So let me just quickly see if I can find right here. So you're going to get something like this. What I do is I take from the first cell or second cell, because the first part is just the title of the cell, so it's kind of useless, but just take the second cell, right? And you're going to go all the way to zip, or to city, right? And then you're going to take all the leads and you're going to copy and paste it into here, right? And what I do is I get rid of, this is what I keep, right? So I have the name. So I'm going to show you exactly what you need. What you need for, you're going to need the name of the company. So I would do something: company, phone, email, website, Facebook, rank on Google, and city. You may also want the address when you're verifying, but you really don't need it. But anyway, so once you have that, you're going to get a lot of leads, and you're going to think, holy shit, I have so many leads. I have like 200 leads. I can do this. I'm going to get like at least 10,000 a month just from this. Well, here's where the catch comes. A lot of the leads are shit, and they're really bad. So that's not necessarily the fault of D7 Lead Finder, but it's the fault of like, well, I mean, it is the fault of D7 Lead Finder, but there's not much you can really expect, because a lot of these sites, they go out of business. A lot of these companies, they go out of business. They're just irrelevant. Kansas City, right, and they're just not like. I was prospecting for Vermont as well, so that's why you see like Colchester. Not that anyone really knows Burlington. Not that anyone really knows about these areas in Vermont, but anyway, my point is that you don't want to get. You're gonna get a lot of leads that are just like spam. They're irrelevant and stuff like that, and this is where like lead filtering comes in. So when it comes to lead filtering, well, here's what you're going to look out for. You're going to look for first, does the site work? So if the site doesn't work, let's see if I can find like one that doesn't work, or that's like maybe not what I would target. This is an example of something that's irrelevant. So the first thing is, if the site doesn't work, all right, that's immediate, like gone, right? Get it out of there, right? So there's no need to have a site that doesn't work. Next, is the site relevant? So we're looking for HVACs, and this is a plumbing supply and HVAC parts site. So it's not an actual HVAC company. So this is, again, the reason why this is kind of like the priority processing. So if the site doesn't work, that's the first thing you should look out for. Next, is the site relevant? If it's like a supplier or something completely irrelevant to what you're looking for, then get rid of it, obviously. Then, does the site have an SSL? Well, let's see if it's like a good lead that I have. A lot of these sites do have an SSL, but some of them don't. So let's see if we can find any ones that don't. Okay, so this isn't fully secure. So that's something to know. Is the site, does it have an SSL? If it does, that doesn't necessarily mean it's like a deal breaker. But it also does mean that if it doesn't have an SSL, chances are that there's somebody that's not entirely educated on, like, you know, SEO, right? They may be lacking that kind of the importance of SEO. So does it have an SSL? Does it have the name, address, and phone number? And this goes into my next thing. So, like, is it a lead gen site? Avoid lead generation sites, because obviously you're not going to, somebody that's doing lead generation knows about SEO, and so they're not going to want your service. Now, what is a lead generation site? Well, basically it's a site that's just trying to collect leads from you. So if it doesn't really have like a logo, if it's just something very vague, like this may actually be a lead gen site, and I may have missed this when I was doing my prospecting, but one of the big signs of a lead generation site, right? So lead gen site is if it has something like, let's say we're doing Tucson HVAC. So if it was like HVAC Tucson HVAC services.com, right? And then if like the logo, like if this was a legit like Tucson HVAC Services Inc., right, and they had like founded blah 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 blah, right, all that stuff, then let's say 1999, probably it's a legit site and it's a legit company. But if it just says Tucson HVAC Services, and if it has like over here it just says like, let's say I don't know, like let's do like John Miller and Sons HVAC LLC or something like that, right? Let's say it was like this was the domain, but this was like the company name. Then this is a lead gen site, most likely, because it's just like a very vague name, and it's got like a more customized brand name. But like you could probably get something like John Miller Sons HVAC Pros LLC or something along those lines. But the point is, you want to have something that's like, you want to avoid these types of sites. You don't want to solicit lead generation sites. And if it's a lead gen site, you'll see that it has like inconsistent name, address, and phone number. So it's just going to basically be like, we service this area, rather than actually like talking about their company. So this is maybe a good this is actually a lead gen site, right? Actually, yeah, because you can see over here their van says mission2serve.com. I'm like 90% sure if mission2serve.com. Yeah, they would be redirected. So this is most likely a lead generation site, so I would probably stay away from it. But again, it's not the biggest deal. That's why it's like not the biggest thing. But then the next thing I would look out for, what is the copyright year? So if a copyright, like at the bottom over here, you can see it's copyright 2000 to 2019. If it says like 2017 and it's like 2019, right? That's this year. So if it says that, then chances are that site is like outdated and it's a good lead for you. And are there any obvious, is there any like signs that there's no SEO, like a poor heading tags, or there's just like, it's not responsive? So like if a site isn't responsive, this site is, but let's say there's a site that just was not responsive. It looks like it was made in like 2002, and it's just got like, it's just old, right? And that's another thing, like, what is the vibe of the site? So is the site like out of date? Does it feel old? Does it look old? And then this is where like professional judgment, or maybe not professional, but personal judgment comes into play. So if it's like got gradients and stuff, that's like a hint of like older 2013 and older sites, 2015 and older really. But you know, you want to kind of use your best judgment as to like, what is the style, what is the vibe of the site? Does it look old? Does it look new? And then the last thing you're gonna do is you're gonna find the first names of the people in charge. Now, how are you gonna do that? Well, I kind of, I'll be honest, I cheated a little and I was just kind of lazy, so I didn't really look I didn't go the whole 9 yards. But let's say we're going to look for Pride Mechanical LLC, right? What you're going to do is you're just going to take the company name and you're going to look for a BBB.org. Better Business Bureau is basically like the best thing that you can do. So now we're going to look for the owner, so Alan. So, okay, I know the person's name is Alan. That's the person who I'm probably going to be talking to, owner / partner. Christina, that is the office manager. So the next thing I'm going to do is, this is where it comes like, all right, so when it comes to lead generation, yes, you want to be saving the most amount of time and using as much automated systems as possible, but you also want to be the most accurate when it comes to you want to reduce that error, and you want to get the most amount of conversions, at least the most amount of success when it comes to this part. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look, and now this is called Hunter.io. So I'm going to essentially use this Chrome extension to find emails, right? So here I see Alan, right? That's the owner's name. Now, does it match an email that I can find here? Yes, it does. Alan at Pride Mechanical LLC. So I can replace this office at Pride Mechanical to Alan, because I know that's that's her name, right? Or his or her name. And then basically you're going to want to do that for each lead. And you're going to notice that all these leads that you originally got are going to be useless, because you're filtering, first of all, the first stage of filtering should just be to make sure that your site is working and that it's like, it's irrelevant, or that it's relevant, it works, and it looks like you could do some good work. So one thing I kind of missed was to scout for the top competitor. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the original HVAC contractor, Tucson, AZ, and we're going to look for the top ranking person on here. So in this case, it's rightwayac.com. And now I see they have 1.1 thousand. Okay, so we're going to say that the number one competitor in here is going to be this guy over here, right? And I would just say how much traffic this guy gets. He gets like 1.1 thousand, and I would mention that in the email. But this is basically how you do lead filtering. And so the next part, the more complicated part, is going on to MixMax. And then basically you're going to create a sequence, and you're going to export these leads to a CSV. And then once you have that, you're basically going to open the CSV. You're going to import all the selected files. And now, hopefully, if you've done your lead generation and you're not like me and a little bit lazy, you have all the names, or almost all the names of the people, at least first names. And then you're basically going to tell them, like, next stage, right? You're going to basically say this. You're going to type the following. You're going to type in quick question, or question about name, right? In this case, it would be like company name. And if not, fallback simply means like if nothing works, so if there's no data in there, you just do like your website. So quick question about blah blah blah. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say hi, prospect name, or wherever you put the person's first name, and fallback. If not, then just say hi there, right? And then you're going to basically say, my name is, in this case, Joshua Conrad. I'm sure you get lots of cold emails from SEO companies. So in order to stand out, I am going to keep this email short. Right? Something along those lines. You're basically just going to say, hey, my name is Joshua Conrad, or whatever your name is. I know you get a lot of these emails from other SEO companies, so you can acknowledge that, okay, yes, it is a big industry, and yes, it is a cold email. But in order to keep, in order to make it unique, I want to keep this email short. Just short, and share with you a few things I found about name, right? The company name, fallback, and if not, your website. And then the first thing is going to be like, you're going to say something along the lines of, I noticed your website, and then you're going to do website, right? You're going to call the this row over here, and if not, I noticed your website, and there's no fallback. So like if this doesn't work, I mean, you really should always have the website, and if not, I don't know what you're doing. But your website is and then rank. So what their rank is on their site over here, right here, right? And you're gonna make sure to have the potential traffic. So if you have something like keywords everywhere, Moz, Ahrefs, something like that, just be able to track the potential traffic. And if not, here's what you can do. Again, like if you are bare bones, like literally just starting out and have no access to Ahrefs, and you're just eyeballing everything, this is what you're gonna do: is rank, right? So rank 30 or whatever, not indexed on Google. Now, if you don't have any data, right, you're not going to worry too much about like their positioning thing. Just say they're not ranked, right? Just say they're not ranked. And that is the alarm for me to do my laundry. But just say that they're not ranked, and simply, because chances are they're not going to be ranked. And if they are in the first, like if they're, okay, position 19, yes, they're ranked, but they're in 19, and it's not going to matter, right? So I notice your website is not indexed or whatever rank on Google for the key phrase, and then you're gonna do, let's say, for the phrase, you're gonna do something like target keyword, and if not, then you're gonna just do the individual. So HVACs in Tucson, AZ. Then second, this keyword or this phrase is searched volume potential traffic, right? Now if you don't have this, you can just say a lot of times per month. I know this is a little bit like, okay, this is a little bit BSing, but again, if you're really bare bones and you're just cold emailing people because like you're just starting your agency and you have no money for Ahrefs or anything, this is what you gotta do, right? And you maybe can figure out on your own what it is that you want and don't want to add in, but this is something along the lines of what I would do, right? Is search a lot of times per month. I also noticed that competitor, or maybe you could just say your competitors are, your competitor is ranked number 1 for this keyword, key phrase, and receiving however much traffic. So in this case, if we have Ahrefs, then you're going to say 1.1K, and if not, you're basically going to say something like hundreds of new users, right? So you're gonna have to kind of guess that part, but this is that's what I would say, like hundreds or dozens, depending on the industry. So if it's like personal finance, they're probably gonna get like dozens of calls, as opposed to an HVAC or a locksmith that probably gets maybe like hundreds or maybe thousands of calls. So lastly, you're gonna just basically do the most low entry offer ever. So you're gonna say, I would like to create a quick 10-minute video showing you exactly why they are outranking you and exactly how we can beat them. Now, when you say, I would like to create a quick, quick 10-minute complimentary, You don't want to say free because that sounds like you're just lowballing and it sounds cheap nowadays. So you could say a complimentary video showing you exactly why they are outranking you, exactly how it can beat them. You're going to do your little signature at the bottom. And lastly, you're going to add another stage, right? I know this is a bit of a long video, so please bear with me. But basically, after this, if not replied, after 3 or 5 days, let's just say 5 days, because 5 days is like good enough to the point where it's like not like, oh, every other day this guy messages me. It's like 5 days, okay, next week or something like that. If you're emailing, for me 5 days will be next week, so perfectly fine. And you're just gonna do the same thing. You're gonna say, hey, let's say name. In fact, you know what, you don't even need the name, but again, if you want to make it more personalized, again, keep the name, prospect name. So you're gonna say, hey, prospect name, and if not there, right, I know how you can just do some BS if you want, like, oh, I know how hard it is sometimes to keep track of time, whatever, but I would say, not sure, just in case you didn't receive my last message, here is a quick recap. And then you're gonna just basically say the same thing. You're just gonna say in a different way, like, oh, okay, your site is blah blah blah, not ranked, done. And you're just gonna send this out. And I know some people have said to do like 3 of these. I would stay away from. I would just do 2, right? Like clearly if it takes 3 times to email them and get a response from them, they're not interested in doing work with you. So 2 times, okay, 1 time, I get it, it misses the inbox. 2nd time, though, probably they'll know and they're not interested. 3rd time, most of the time, at least in my experience, they've said, just leave me alone. So 2 times is usually the best. And then, this is what it would look like. In this case, hi, James, my name is Joshua Conrad, I'm sure, blah, 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 right? And you're just going to send it out, and you're going to watch as you're, you're just going to wait. You're just going to wait some time. You're gonna, go out, get some audits. You're gonna get maybe 1 or 2 responses in order to, do some video audits. And then in another video, I'm gonna show you exactly kind of like how I make video audits so that I can land clients. But basically, this is what you're gonna do. You're essentially taking a bunch of leads, right, from something like D7 Lead Finder. You're going through all of them, and you're gonna basically say, okay, the ones that are like obviously not working, get out of here. Second, okay, the ones that I kind of want to work with, don't want to work with, blah, blah, blah. Lastly, okay, the ones I do kind of want to work with, like these are good companies, I'm going to try and find their first names. Go on BBB, right? Better Business Bureau. 99% of these companies, especially contracting companies, will be on the Better Business Bureau. And if not, you can find other techniques. So like in here, we may be able to find like owner, response from the owner, response from the owner, right? We can maybe find, let's say, again, you're gonna have to do some digging for this, but if it's over here, right, info about us, maybe we'll find something if we're lucky. If not, something like Monta or Yelp, they'll probably showcase like at least someone in charge's name, so that'll be a good sign. And then you're going to basically, send them on MixMax. Say, hey, you know what? I got you with a couple of SEO points that I want to mention, and let me know what your thoughts are. If this is the right address to send this to, say yes. If not, let me know the right address. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I know this was a really long video, but I just really wanted to make it crystal clear how you can get SEO leads using this strategy. Now with Facebook ads, I'm going to kind of explain it maybe in another video, but essentially, while you're doing the SEO, you can also say, hey, while we're waiting for the SEO and while we're waiting for the indexing, we can also throw in some Facebook ads. This is obviously up to you and your policies in terms of like how far you want to go above and beyond with your clients, but something I would do as a courtesy to my clients. Say, hey, while we're waiting for the SEO, while we're waiting for Google to refresh its algorithm, let's do some Facebook ads, get you some business, and there you go. You do this like a couple times a week or a couple times a month, you're going to start to see that your company, you're going to get more phone calls, you're going to get a bit busier, and then start to outsource this process. And because I've already made this video for you, you can use this with whomever you want. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.